for joining us today.
Thank you for having me.
Of course. So, before we get into things, would you please just fill us in on kind of a bit about your story, your journey to being where you are today, and I guess about Lick?
Of course I can. So, my sort of journey is I'm so passionate about interiors and colour, and I've sort of been in the interiors world for the last sort of 10 years, but recently I've really sort of specialised in colour and colour psychology. My mum, funny enough, is an interior designer herself, and she does property development, so I was sort of brought up.
It's been around you.
It's just been around me. I've been brought up with it. What I love about her is she's really bold with her colour choices, and I always grew up in this amazing, very colourful spaces, and just being around that and really understanding why that's really working. And I think what's been great is I've been with Lick since it's launched. And it's actually been great. We sort of launched, there was a team of 4 of us, and now we've grown actually now to a team of 75.
Oh my goodness.
And actually it's only been around, we launched 2.5 years ago. And I think why I'm so passionate about it is my job in Lick is really helping people transform their sort of houses into homes that they love. And seeing that and seeing it firsthand is just so powerful.
Oh, I bet. I mean, how I discovered Lick was really funny. I don't know if I've told you this story.
No, I've not heard it.
So I put on my Instagram story talking about colours for my house, and just I'm the most indecisive person you will ever meet. And I was saying I wish a colour specialist or a colour advisor was a thing. And someone DM'd me and was like, Emily, it is.
It is a thing.
It is.
Oh my God, it is a thing. When I say to my friends that, oh yeah, I'm a colour psychologist, they're like, Tash, is that actually a job? I'm like, no, it actually is a real job. Because it's really, it's amazing when we were chatting as well, the power that colour can have on the way that you behave in your space, your mood. It's so powerful.
I mean, so for we'll get into this later, but for my property, I've lived in places that have been all white for my whole life. Even my childhood, the first place I lived in, I got the house and it was all this, it was called almond white. It was yellow. I painted it all bright white and it stayed bright white, and I just don't want that. So I'd like every room in my house to feel different as you go into it. That's the goal.
I love that. It's really interesting. It's something that I see all the time, that people either don't have the confidence or they get something called colour paralysis, where it's basically when you're bombarded with too much choice and too much colour choice. If you go in to buy some paint and you're sort of overwhelmed by 2,000 blues, you're like, oh my God, I don't know which one I want. And then you revert back and you just go all white. And actually, you've just said, it doesn't reflect you, your personality. It goes a bit dull.
Exactly. I think that's what happened to me. I was super young and very intimidated by the idea of painting. It was a feature wall at the time. That was what it was. And I just couldn't think of anything worse than having a green wall or a blue wall. I don't know why. But so now I'm a bit older. I really have a picture in my head. Well, when we chatted, I'm sure you see this, I have a picture in my head of what I want my house to look like. And I think a lot of that is from the inspiration I've gathered from being in hotels. We were talking about Soho House and their whole vibe. But I guess for people listening, where would you say they start? So they've got a room, they want to decorate. Where do they start?
That honestly is such a good question. I think literally what you just touched on there, by the way, is I think where you've got to start is you can sometimes be so overwhelmed by Pinterest and Instagram and almost be oh my God, I don't know what I love or something. So it's almost take a step back, start creating a mood board, use Pinterest and pin everything that you love. Don't worry too much about okay, it has to be, I don't know, pink or it has to be modern. Pin everything that you love. And eventually what you'll start to see is when you take a step back, maybe for a day or two, go back to the boards, you will see a common thread. And then start looking at the images and really working out what you love about them, what you don't like about them. That is one way that I always recommend clients do. Another way is that, like you said, hotels, even just being in this hotel room.
So inspirational, isn't it?
So inspirational. And what I love about hotels is they've really got to work. You've got to have a room where you can do your makeup, maybe you can work from. It's got a ensuite. they really push boundaries.
Yeah.
So like go stay in, if you can, like some boutique hotels or some hotels that you love.
Yes.
Get a feel for what you like about them.
Yeah.
That's another good place I love to recommend.
Yeah, love that. I think for me, that's where I got so much of my inspo. It's really funny. And I don't think I really associate it with me, but the Hoxton hotels.
Yes.
So much inspo.
Oh,
Each
amazing.
one is a little bit different. The rooms aren't huge, but what they do with the space is just so good. And just the colours.
Yeah. Do you know what? The Hoxton's really good. I always say, like, chains, but like, if you can, boutique hotels.
Yes.
That's where they... Artists and Residence is another really good one.
Okay.
Like you said, the Soho houses, like they are incredible at design. And I really love the way that they create these incredibly very welcoming, comfy spaces.
Yes,
But
they're very warm and you feel very held in them, don't you? It's like, really crazy how they do it.
It's unbelievable. And also the colour choices they go for.
Yes.
They're like bold, but they all like really harmonise and work. So they're quite a good one to go to.
Yeah, definitely. I think that's the vibe that I'm hoping to create.
Yes. Yeah.
That's super warm, homely, but kind of, it is quite modern, really.
It is, yeah. It is quite modern, but you've chosen colours that, like, I would say are bold choices.
Yeah.
Like, and what I love is, like, when we are working together, we're going to make sure that they all flow, they connect.
Yes.
So that what you want to try and avoid is too many contrasting colours that don't sit together.
Yes.
So that actually you end up being in the home being like, oh my God, this doesn't work. It doesn't fit.
Yeah.
Sort of vibe.
Too loud.
It's too loud, and actually you can go really bold if you want, but as long as they sit on the same weight and they're complementary colours, then actually everything slots beautifully together.
Yeah. I mean, I've been trying to pick my choices without being too trend-led. So when it comes to kind of 2022, my goodness, what are we in April? Yeah, we're in April now, aren't we?
Yeah.
So what trends are you seeing for kind of colour in 2022?
That's such a good question. Okay, so trends. Interesting what you've just said, by the way, not being too inspired, not being too influenced, I would say, by trends. So trends are an amazing way to push you out your comfort zone, get a bit creative.
Yes.
But what I tend to recommend to anyone who's looking at trends is work out if you love it.
Okay.
Like, it's very easy, and the two trends that are massive at the moment is this beautiful, I'm really pleased about it because I'm obsessed with the colour, this lovely lilac colour.
Okay.
This sort of lavender, soft lilac colour.
Yeah.
And purple normally splits a room, by the way. Like, you normally, if you say to someone what's your favourite colour or your least favourite colour, they'll most people say purple.
Okay.
And what I'm really pleased about this lilac tone that's been, like, it's come through in the fashion world, it's now into the interiors world, and it's just a really soft, delicate colour that makes you feel mentally calm, really relaxed in a space. But what I'm really pleased about it's going to compete with the pink that's obviously been so popular.
Oh my goodness.
But that's the other colour combination that I've noticed is a green and pink.
Yes.
It's definitely here to stay.
Yeah.
It works in every scheme if you're looking at doing a modern scheme to a maximalist scheme to even a Scandi scheme, it can work. So yeah, the trends that I have noticed this year is your lavender tones and your pink and your green, basically.
Amazing. One of my really good friends, actually, she's just done one of her bathrooms in a pink and a green. Really kind of muted tones.
Yes.
They are gorgeous.
Do you know what? That's the thing, actually, I'd love to know, is like keeping it duskier, like more earthier tones.
Exactly.
Rather than going too vibrant, too saturated.
Yeah.
That's when a trend can, or like when someone's trying to create maybe a room a bit too for like Instagram, actually living in it day to day, it's like, this is too much.
Yeah, well, this was my thing with my kitchen, actually. Maybe the other way around, because in my head I'm thinking, Emily, just make it all white, because even then on a dull day you can shoot in there, and it's beautiful. But then I'm like, no, actually, I want to walk into my dream kitchen, and I want a green bit, and I want this, and I want that. So I've gone for the colour is Duval's Bakehouse Green for the cabinets.
Amazing colour.
Which is just gorgeous, and I think timeless, I hope.
It is timeless, yeah. Greens, funny enough, green is always timeless.
Yeah.
Because green connects you to nature. So green is a colour also your eye doesn't have to adjust to. So you naturally relax and like you feel very calm in the colour green. So going for a green, if you're anyone that's just wanting something that's going to stand the test of time, go for a green.
Oh, amazing. Well, let's talk these colour associations then, because this blows my mind.
Yeah.
So green, nature, calming.
Green, nature, calming.
Right.
Blue is the colour of the mind. Right. So the lighter the shade of blue, the more mentally soothing. So great for a bedroom.
Yeah.
The darker the shade of blue, funny enough, the more mentally stimulating it is.
Right.
So if you're doing like a home office, it's a really good colour that I love recommending.
Ooh.
Pink. Pink is the colour that I call of cuddles. So it's, you naturally, I call it the shoulder drop colour.
Right.
Like when you walk into a pink room, you naturally like relax.
Oh, wow.
And it physically, so like red is a stimulating, like basically stimulates you. Whereas pink is softened down with lots of white and it basically physically soothes you. So it's like a huge cuddle. If you
so say, because we were talking my guest bedroom, I'm doing pink.
Yeah.
But I'm going to do pink with florals.
Love.
So how's someone going to feel walking into that as my guest?
So that, to me, screams like fresh, like florals, depending on the type of floral.
Like
and
granny florals.
Oh my God, I love it. Emily, I love it.
I know.
Please do that, by the way.
I'm going to do like a bed skirt and everything. I was actually saying to my grandma, I'm like, can I base this on like one of the rooms in your house? She's like, take the chair, take what you need. I was like, oh, I love you.
Okay, Emily, honestly, do you know what's so nice about that whole thing you've just said is when you're designing your home, it's all about having like something nostalgic, something that reminds you and like that you connect to.
Yes.
The fact that it's like your granny, you're bringing in furniture that's old that reminds you of her.
Yes.
Tying that all into a space is so powerful.
Yeah, like I feel it. I really do.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I got this is really random, but I guess on the same front.
Yeah.
My kitchen appliances are second hand, and it was a thing I sourced because firstly it's saving me a lot of money.
Yeah.
But also I love the fact that they've been in someone's home before and the room feels fuller. And some people I speak to about that don't understand what I mean, but I guess you totally get it.
Okay, so what that is if you're designing a whole house like you are from the start, or anyone that's moving into maybe a bigger property, or they've been renting and it's been furnished and they're buying furniture from new, what you want to really try and avoid is anything like if you bought everything new and painted everything, like everything was a fresh lick of paint and then all your furniture was new, the room would feel like a showroom.
This was my old
home. It would have
home.
no character.
Yes, no, exactly.
Like, it would be a bit like, oh, I don't know why this isn't feeling homey.
Yes.
And that's what people say.
Yes.
What you want to do, exactly what you've done, is go to antique shows, go onto Facebook Marketplace, eBay, all those places, find something that has a bit more history. Doesn't have to be expensive. You can upcycle a piece of furniture as well.
Absolutely.
But anything that has a bit more wear and tear, that's not perfect, that's a bit more lived in, softens a space instantly.
That's amazing. I mean, that's something I'm really excited for, actually. I have this armchair that I've grown up sitting in my grandma's house. She has a pair of them. And she said to me, she was like, I would like you to have one in your house. I'll have one in my house and we'll be connected. And there was
so nice.
a window in my living room and my architect was saying, you know, let's put a door there. And I'm like, no, because the chair has to go there. He's like, what's this chair? Why do you need this chair? I'm like, it's my grandma's chair. This is where it belongs and it's really special.
Oh, I love anything. It's so funny. Like, some people are buying new furniture or they've inherited it.
Yes.
And what's really nice is like when you're decorating a space, just really working out the feeling that you want that room to have. Like, is that somewhere where you want to sit in your grandma's chair? You need maybe a little side table to put your drink or your book or a lamp or something. Like, it's all about making spaces like really work for you.
Yeah, totally. I mean, obviously I'm very lucky with the space that I've got. I guess it's making it slightly more difficult because there's a lot of decisions to make.
Yes.
But how would you kind of treat a slightly larger property differently to an apartment? Or is there any kind of colour choices you would recommend people stay away from with kind of smaller spaces or smaller rooms, darker rooms?
Okay, smaller spaces, again, taking one step back before you suggest colours is working out the purpose of that room.
Yes.
So is it a room that you spend all your day in? And if it is, normally those spaces I try and avoid going too dark because if it's a room that you're sort of, I don't know, waking up in, like spending all day and working in, I think dark rooms have such an incredible effect and can be so powerful. But maybe if it's always around, it can feel quite your energy levels can lack sometimes. Yes. However, saying that, if you are someone that loves a dark scheme and that is a bit of you, then 100% go for it.
Yeah, I mean, if you're watching this if you're listening on Spotify, head over to YouTube, hello, and have a look at the room we're in right now. This is just an incredibly dark blue. It's not really a navy, is it? It's.
Do you know what it's got? It's got a lot of green undertone.
Is that what it is?
Yeah.
It's gorgeous. So, but I could come into this room and nap any time of day.
Okay, exactly. This is it's very powerful. It's very dramatic.
Yes.
What I love, if you can see, is that they've painted the cornicing, the skirting, and all of the woodwork in the same colour. And what that has done is it's completely opened the space up.
Yes.
If the woodwork and your trim was white, I call it's like putting socks on.
Okay,
You've just you've just suddenly cut the room and shortened it.
Yeah.
And I think when you're going for such a bold colour, completely going for it, having the confidence and wrapping the whole space, just makes the room completely work.
Yeah.
This is demonstrating beautifully.
Oh, this is amazing.
Yeah, it's stunning.
So with dark colours, how would you treat a room that didn't have much natural light then? Would you do a dark colour in there?
So that is a great place if you are wanting to go dark. Yeah. If you've got a dark room already, I always say work with the room, work with the house. Okay. If it's already dark, trying to lighten it up, there's ways that we can do that, and there's loads of techniques for people who don't want to go dark, but trying to lighten it up can be tricky. Yeah. So if you do have a small dark room, embrace it, go darker. So dark colours absorb shadow. So already in here, you won't notice shadow.
No, not at all.
It's so interesting when you're Whereas if this was a small dark room or a dark bathroom and no natural light or no window, and you painted it in brilliant white, all you'll see is shadow everywhere, and it will feel dull. It's what people always say, my room feels really dull and lifeless. I'm don't worry, it's easily fixable. Yeah. It's just about finding colours that absorb that shadow. Smaller rooms, it's really important to consider the ceiling.
Okay.
Because you're really drawn when you're in a smaller space to all the corners. And so if you've got a smaller room, look at, and I know it's brave, potentially wrapping the colour all the way up onto the ceiling as well.
Really?
Yeah, and that would completely open it up.
I quite like that in a room.
Yeah,
I
really
do. I think it is a brave move.
Brave move. If it is too brave, go for a white that has exactly the same undertone. So for this, for instance, I'd go for a white with a blue undertone.
Yes.
And that, or even go for a real pale blue, just means that the transition isn't so harsh.
Yes.
If you go dark white, it's a really strong contrast.
It's just all about creating flow, isn't it? That's what I'm realising.
Just easy on the eye. Everything's about being easy on the eye.
What I'm also realising is I need to find out what way my house is facing. I don't know. That's terrible, isn't it?
No, don't worry, it's easy. Just put it on, I think it's
on
app
compass
on your phone, on your phone. Just walk around.
I need to do that because at the minute I'm wanting a dark kitchen and a dark living room, but I don't think I should do that.
There's if your kitchen... for your kitchen, you can go dark on the cabinets and then keep the walls light.
Yes, I might do that.
Or you can reverse that and go dark on my kitchen is really dark on the walls because my cabinets and everything are really light. Okay. So that won't make the room feel dark and heavy. Yeah. Again, for a living room, if you're wanting to go dark, amazing, then make sure your furnishings and your curtains and your rugs aren't too dark.
Right.
And that will keep it feeling lighter.
Yeah. Okay. I feel like that's a mistake I probably would have made. I probably would have picked dark furniture as well.
To be fair, in this room here, they've gone for mid-tone. And that's nice because there's like you said, it's a very cozy feeling.
Yeah.
If you're wanting to go dark but keeping it light, that's a good technique, going light with the furnishings, dark on the walls. Yeah. But if you're wanting to really embrace the darkness, then trust me, go for it. It's gonna work.
Think?
Yeah.
I really want to do heavy fabrics, really comfy.
Oh that would be amazing.
I was going to say I'm afraid of making mistakes, but I'm not going to say that because I feel like I'll only make a mistake if I don't do it. That's the only time it can go wrong. I can adapt, I can change.
100%. So, also, people that are nervous, and I can really appreciate, it's expensive to change
Yeah.
furnishings and floorings and stuff like that. So I always say, like, when it comes to like your floor and like a sofa, they are more high-priced items.
Yes.
Paint is easily changeable.
Okay.
Like, paint is something that, our paint, is £38 a tin.
Yeah.
Like, you can easily change that a lot quicker than actually like pulling up some floors or some tiles or anything like that.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So I always say go, like, follow your gut and like go with colours that you love.
Okay, I feel like to do that though, you probably need to make quite informed decisions. So if I were to say to you, common mistakes that people make when it comes to decorating a room, like, is there any tips you could give so like they won't kind of make those mistakes?
Yeah, okay, common mistakes I see. A bit what you said earlier, common mistakes I see people do is actually they have all these wonderful ideas and these amazing sort of schemes that they want to come up with, and then they get to doing it and they just get nervous. And oh my God, I can appreciate that.
Yeah.
And they basically completely revert back and do everything white.
Yeah.
And I would say that a common mistake would be to do that because what you're then doing is not bringing your personality in.
Yeah.
And so something that I would really recommend that those people do, just get it down, like get it. I love it. I'm more of a tactile person. I need to, like, Pinterest is amazing, but I love creating like a physical mood board.
Okay.
And actually getting all the swatches that you want, getting the fabric swatches, go shopping, go get inspired, go and maybe stay in a hotel for the weekend. And then get it all down and really work out on a board, like what your living room, your bedroom, your bathroom, whatever the room is that you're doing. Like, get it down. And then I love to make a note, like get a pen and write what you love about it. Like, is it, okay, I love the pink walls, or I love the feeling of the vertical stripes in the curtains. For some reason, to me, it makes the room look taller. Do you know what I mean? Like, write these down. And then when it comes to them buying the items, you can really pick out what you love, what your priorities are, basically. What other common mistakes would I say?
I mean, it's really funny what you said about kind of swatches, because I'm quite visual, but I would never think to go and get a swatch of paint and kind of put it on the wall in a room. I wouldn't do that. But it was really funny when I got all my samples through from you guys through the post. Kind of having the piece of paper, having them, if anyone's watching on YouTube right now, this is the vibe, this kind of thing. And I had them all laid out, and it's so funny seeing how they work so well together.
Completely. I think one of our things when we launched the company was really, these colour swatches, you peel and stick them, you can move them around the room, they don't mark the walls. And what's great about that, you can see the colour in different lights. So you can put it in that corner, see what it looks like on that against that window, and then at the back of the room. But also what's great is you can put them in your handbag. You can take them with you. Like, let's say you're out and about and you're, I don't know, looking for a sofa. Take it with you and see what it like. You can see very clearly that would be a lovely combination.
Yeah, exactly.
And that would be beautiful. Or against the rug, or, they're great for that reason. So I always say, like, get as many swatches as you can. Avoid, actually, I'm going to take that back. Don't get as many as you can. Try and pick things that you love. When you're bombarded with too much choice, again, that paralysis comes in, and you're like, oh my God, I don't know.
No, I really loved laying them all out and seeing how they work together, because it comes back to that thing of flow, doesn't it? I was like, okay, this hopefully will flow, and everything just looked perfect.
I think what's really good with seeing it in your own home, by the way, as well, we never see colour in isolation. So you're not just seeing a wall colour, you got to take in, okay, what the furnishing's going to be, what the rugs are going to be. So I think what's really important is getting the colours out, making sure that they all, like you said, slot together beautifully. And the way that you can do that for anyone that's like, okay, well, I don't know what colours slot beautifully, good way is choosing a colour and going for a similar undertone. So all of our paint colours have an undertone to them. It's what makes them really rich in pigment. And so choosing either a green, a pink, a similar undertone that connects all the colours together, or literally going for complementary colours. It's like pink and green, blue and orange. Like, anything on a colour wheel that's opposite or adjacent, they always work well.
Amazing. So say if someone's coming to start decorating.
Yep.
Not me, because I'm not going to be decorating my own home. Sorry, I'm going to have someone do that for me before I make any mistakes. Last time I painted a room, it was supposed to be white. It turned out purple.
Okay.
So I won't be doing that again.
Yeah, let's
I
not do
learned.
that.
My wonderful boyfriend spent the next night repainting it all in a different white, and I was very relieved. But so yeah, are there any tools or any tips that you can think of that people should probably have in their home if they're going to do it themselves?
Okay, so if you are decorating yourselves, and also decorating should be really fun, by the way.
Oh, I loved it until
no.
I realised it was purple, and then there
mate.
were
And
a
then
few
you got scared.
tears.
Yeah, no, trust me, I've been there. Like, I've so been there. I think if you're decorating, first thing I'd recommend that you do is, like you said, get everything that you need, so that you don't start decorating and then you're like, oh,
I also did this.
No, I don't have that roller, or I've run out of paint, or and then actually it's like, oh my god, now the room's not finished. Oh my god, this is all not working. Yeah. So get all the tools. Tools I would really recommend that you do get. Like, I think it's called like a paint scratcher, scraper, or scraper. So just what you want to do when you're decorating, it's actually 90% in the prep. So before you even come up to furnishing and actually putting the paint on the wall, if you prep your walls right, the finish is just going to be so much better. So it's worth like just getting it right.
Yeah.
Doesn't have to take ages.
Okay.
If your walls are in good condition, don't worry about this, but for anyone that's got like renovating or doing like chipping off wallpaper, paint scraper, just go around the wall.
Okay.
Get a sponge, fairy liquid will do, warm soapy water. Don't soak or drench the walls.
Right.
But what you just want to remove any grease or any dirt or anything, and just make sure that like it's dust free.
Yeah.
I would say just do all the prep the day before you decorate, just so that the walls like you don't want to put paint on top of wet walls.
No.
That
was such bad timing. Sorry guys, I just got interrupted being delivered some gorgeous macarons. Sorry, please carry on. So, paint scraper, wash the walls.
Paint scraper, wash the walls, then dust sheet. Because what you don't want to do is when you start painting, you then splatter paint on your lovely furnishings. Move everything, I always say, into the middle of the room. Bit of dust sheet on. If you're wanting to do masking tape to protect the skirting, masking tape where you need to, or the top of the ceiling. And then 2 brushes I'd really recommend that you get. There's something called a cutting in brush. It's a smaller brush that can go around the edges to get those sharp edges. Now, there's a big debate between a brush or a roller. It's completely up to you. Personally, for me, I love a roller finish. It's just a bit more flawless, basically. Some people, and I've got clients that love the brush stroke, and that's really pretty. And I've seen rooms have it done, and some people prefer that on the woodwork. And that's just a preference. Like, so if you want a brush finish, go for a brush finish. If you want a roller, go for a roller.
I've seen these things recently that are almost rectangular.
Yes.
What are those? Do you know what I mean?
I know what you mean. Just there's
I guess they're gadgets, aren't they?
It's gadgets. Like at Lick, we want to make decorating as easy as possible. You can get a single room decorating kit, which has everything that I've just said in it. Or if you're doing a whole house multi-room, that again, because there's some that, you know, if you're doing ceilings, you might want a pole extender. Or like you might not have a step ladder, for instance.
So when everyone's got their tools, you've got everything you need to paint. Are there any techniques people should know about? Because I feel like for me, I'd get a paintbrush or a roller and just kind of go for it. Is there a technique?
Do you know what? I think what I love about decorating techniques is paint can have a huge impact on a room. So if anyone is in a smaller room or wants the room to feel bigger, or if they're in a really big room and they want it to feel cozier, painting the ceiling is a great thing that we recommend that you do, because lots of people almost forget the ceiling. So actually look at your ceiling as like the 5th wall. Really consider it. Painting the ceiling can be very dramatic. Anyone that's a bit nervous about bringing colour into their lives, doing a ceiling can have a huge impact, but it won't overwhelm the room.
Right.
So you can go for like a warm neutral or a soft neutral on the walls.
Yes.
If you go for a warm colour, so any pink, yellow, red, that's going to bring your ceiling height down.
Right.
If you want, and that's great if you want to create more of a cozier, cocooning feel. If you are wanting the room to feel bigger, going for like a light green or a blue, like a light blue, that recedes the ceiling height up. So that if you're wanting your room to feel a bit more airy, a bit brighter.
Yeah.
So another painting technique is that, and this is very traditional, is that you go for like white woodwork.
Okay.
That's, that was brought in by the Victorians. It's great, but the only thing that I would say about it, it's brilliant if you want to reflect more light around the room.
Yes.
But with that is white can be such a strong contrast against other colours. So if you're going for a darker colour, I would like to soften that personally and either choose a soft white or actually going for like, if it was a dark blue, going for a light blue.
Cute.
And what that does is it relaxes the room a bit more.
Yes.
This sort of white woodwork, like I said, great for reflecting a bit more light, but it really shows up all the edges. Like it's almost like an outline because it goes around the door frames and the corners.
It's funny that that's what we've clung on to, isn't it? It's a very British thing. I think about
very British.
Homes in kind of Spain or in the US. There's none of it.
They won't do it. It's fascinating.
But even in our new builds.
Even in our new builds. Also, carpet is a really British thing. You won't see.
Oh, that's so
yeah, it's
true.
really funny. It's really funny. Carpet, like all of my clients in like Italy and in Spain, you just wouldn't. Like, they just don't have carpet.
Well,
Carpet's
I grew up having carpet in my bathroom at my family home.
Yes.
And I look back now and I see people talk about this online and they're like, that's gross.
That's gross, yeah.
I'm like, but that was normal for me.
Yeah,
it's not normal when you think about it.
It's not normal.
No, it's not.
Like in a bathroom, I don't think, unless you've got just a lovely freezaning bath.
It was a new build property. The developers put it in, which is crazy.
Yeah. Again, it's completely what you want, and if actually you then put a lovely bath mat on top of the carpet or whatever. There's ways obviously around it, but I wouldn't personally maybe put carpet in a bathroom.
Not at this point.
But so the white woodwork, again, it's a very British thing to do. And I think what's lovely is like anyone who wants the room to be really light and airy and create that open space, then actually, but they want to bring some colour in. Why not do it on the woodwork?
Yes.
Like, go for a coloured woodwork, like a contrasting woodwork.
Yeah.
Go for a beige, a green, a pink. White with a pink woodwork is beautiful.
Yeah, I guess people are loving kind of panelling as well now, aren't they? So that's quite an easy way to bring colour in because I feel like it's less scary painting your panelling in colour than just, I guess, your skirting. I don't know why, though.
Yeah, totally. Panelling as well, if you have got a new build.
Yes.
Panelling is an amazing way to bring character in.
Yes.
That's such a good painting technique that anyone that's like, okay, I've just, bought this new build and it's lacking a bit of depth, sometimes they do.
Yeah.
Panelling is a great way to bring that in. And like you said, you can then paint it in a bolder colour.
Yeah.
You could panel behind your bed, create this interest, like dream.
Yes.
Also, actually, like adding cornicing or skirting or anything like that really creates a bit more character as well.
So this is something that I was discussing with the people that helped me with my house. They were saying, if there's somewhere that you want to spend a bit of money, it's on the details that people are going to look at.
Yes.
So the cornicing, the skirtings are going to draw people's eyes. So they were like, if there's a place where you're going to spend a bit more, maybe make it there. And I totally hadn't considered that, but it's so true.
It might be because this is my world. I notice skirting everywhere I go.
Well, I do now.
No,
I never
you'll now
did,
pick up on it.
Yes.
It's really funny. When you start like designing your home and like getting into it, you go into the world in like a different mindset. Like you'll go into like a restaurant and you'll be like, oh my God, I love this chair.
Yeah.
And you'll be like, why do I love this chair? Or you'll go into like your hotel room, you're like, it's all painted one colour.
Yes.
Oh my God, I need to do this for my living room.
Yeah.
But this is a prime, anyone that can see.
Yeah.
This panelling in here, like everything, like if this was all flat, it would lack the sort of the grand sort of ambience.
And it does feel very grand in here.
It does. It feels
really
very luxe.
does.
It's very like, okay, wow, I'm in a proper hotel space.
Yeah. So tell tell me more about Lick then. Obviously, I know so much about Lick as a company, but for everyone watching or even listening that maybe don't know much about Lick, because you've got some amazing things coming up imminently, haven't you?
Yeah. So Lick is it's a brand that has been set up to really become your decorating partner. Our dream is to make decorating fun, accessible, and really enjoyable, basically.
Yeah.
How we've done that is we've got a curated palette. So back to what you were saying about that overwhelmingness of choice, we saw like the market was just so saturated with so much choice out there that we want to make it really easy for anyone that wants to start a decorating project. So we've come up with these colours. We've got 124 colours, and each colour has a complete own identity. So there's not a shade darker or lighter. It has its own identity. It's got its own character.
I love that.
And all of the colours fit together. Like if we were talking earlier about that undertone, all the colours, if you want a colour, go for one of our colours with a yellow undertone, they all connect. So we've got that curated palette. We then obviously do a range of wallpapers. All our wallpapers paint with our paint colours. And what I love about our wallpapers is we've collaborated with the most incredible artists. We also work in-house, and actually our other colour consultants, they're artists as well and have designed their own wallpapers. And what I love about our wallpapers is there is a design there for everyone. If you're a modern scheme or if you're more maximalist, there's a design there for you. And then the third thing that the company does is we do the decorating tools. So literally what we were discussing, the sort of starter kits, the sort of multi-room kits that we do. We sell paintbrushes, all of which are sustainable.
Oh, that's so important.
Everything we do at the core of our brand is sustainability.
I'm so glad you brought that up, because that's such a huge thing in my life at the minute. I'm trying to be so much more mindful, but in a really kind of attainable way, because I think a huge thing about sustainability is that it's sustainable for yourself.
Completely. And literally everything at the brand, like that we're the first paint brand that's actually become B Corp. And like everything from our paint swatches, so we're not like doing those paint pots that like are messy that you buy and then chuck away. You know, our paint is low VOC. All of our supplies are made from bamboo, all eco-friendly. And I think it's just so important when it comes to a brand that's launching nowadays to do that.
Absolutely, I feel like there's not really an excuse not to.
Completely. And then literally, I think, and that's how we got chatting. I think the brand, we are there to help our decorators, and part of that is that one-to-one service, the colour consultancy side. We also just love being a brand that you can completely approach. So whether that's through our Decorating Success channel, through Instagram, Facebook, our Facebook groups, through our webinars that I host or Q&As, like we are literally there to help you decorate and to transform your houses into homes.
Oh, I love that so much. I mean, honestly, our consultation session was just the most helpful thing for me, because like I said, I'm the most indecisive person in the world. And I just love the fact you got my vibe straight away of the home I wanted to create. And I obviously sent you over so much inspo, Pinterest boards, and exactly what you were saying earlier. You saw the trends and you were like, Emily, this is so straightforward. You actually do know what you want.
Most people I talk to, by the way, you'll know exactly what you want. It's just helping you get there.
It's the translation, I guess.
Yeah, I think it's exactly. And I think it's about like having the confidence. Like, to be fair, like it's so nice having a friend even when like you're getting ready to go on a night out or something. Putting an outfit on, it's so nice getting that like from a friend. Oh, that's the one I'd go for. Or that looks really nice. And that's almost what I really want to be, is like that friend at the end of the phone, like, Tash, I'm looking at these tiles. Will that go with this colour? Yes, it will. Like, you naturally will be picking things that are perfect for your home, but it's about just having that, like,
the confirmation.
It's just like, okay, cool, I'm going to do it.
That's brilliant. I mean, I love everything that Lick stand for. I think this felt like such a natural kind of collaboration between us, because like you were saying about the sustainability and everything, that was one of the first things that I actually picked up on from the website, because you make it so obvious, and like I said, it's so important.
It's so important, and literally it was, when I mean it was at the heart of when we were launching the brand.
Yes.
It was the core focus.
Yeah.
And it's literally at every touch point that we do within the company.
Yeah.
And I think when we're actually, funny enough, we're about to launch literally tomorrow in the US.
That's
and again,
huge.
which would be really exciting.
Yeah.
Again, the messaging out there is to make sure that they're fully aware that the brand is sustainable.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah.
Well, that is amazing. I'm so interested. Hopefully, we'll be able to pick this conversation up in maybe like a year's time,
Yes.
and we can compare the trends of what you found kind of US customers versus UK, because I think it'll be really different.
It's so fascinating. Already I've done about, actually probably 80 consultations already out there.
Okay.
And I've just come back from New York, and it's really fascinating to see they're bold.
Really?
I was blown away by how bold their colour choices were.
Yeah.
They also love a wallpaper. So,
Okay.
like, more people in the UK, I think we're becoming more braver.
Yes.
And actually, I'm seeing a lot more wallpaper in people's homes. But the US, we're obsessed.
That's so
obsessed.
funny. I think because in the UK we spent the last 10 years ripping off wallpaper
I think
from
so.
our parents and from previous owners. I think we're a bit traumatised. But I'm doing wallpaper in my bathroom, which I don't know. Do you see that much?
I'm seeing it more. Wallpaper, again, most people would be like, oh, wallpaper shouldn't be in a bathroom because it won't stick, or
Right.
like it will, the steam or whatever. If you've got good ventilation, which now bathrooms have amazing ventilation,
Yeah.
go for it. Like, art wallpapers can go in your bathrooms.
That's amazing,
Like,
yeah.
if you've got if you're, got a freestanding bath or a bath and it's not got a shower or a steam room or anything like that, wallpaper can make it feel very like decadent and like
Yes.
beautiful.
That's exactly why I want to do it. I want the bathroom to feel. I don't know. I think it gives kind of a more traditional feel to a house.
It does, yeah,
Yeah, that's the goal.
totally. And it gives it that real luxe feeling.
Amazing. Well, thank you so much for coming and talking to us today.
Oh, Emily, I've loved it.
This has been amazing. I feel like there are so many other things we could definitely dip into, so hopefully
Yeah.
we'll get to do that in the future.
Oh, totally.
But
like,
do you want to
yeah.
let anyone know where they can find you on socials?
Yeah, so social is literally just Lick, Instagram or lick.com. And yeah, you can find us anywhere on there.
Fabulous. Well, thank you so much.
Thanks, Emily.